Hmm. So, hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. And you already know what we're talking about. This is one of a very interesting little trees. They can be grown in pots pretty much anywhere. In fact, they do much better in pots, I've found, than they do in the ground, even in my area. And anyway, we're talking about the Spondias Dulcis, of course, the June plum. And I'm not really sure what other common names it has. This is the Dwarf June plum. And it's related to the other Spondias species, the hog plums. There's Spondias purpurea and Spondias pinnata, stuff like that. And all the fruits are a little different. This Spondias Dulcis is a dwarf variety, and the fruits turn kind of yellowish, and they taste like really tropically fruity little mangoes. And we'll talk about the other species later. Today we're talking about this one. And what's really interesting about this little dwarf June plum is it does not grow from seed. You have to grow from cuttings. And at least I've never gotten it to grow from seed. I've grown it for years and years and years. And I've always tried planting seeds and never gotten any. And if you saw in the video there, they kind of form flower clusters. And they get these little berries, these drupes, I'm not sure what they are. And they hang down in clusters of anywhere from 1 to sometimes 30, 40 of them. They can get really good sized clusters. And on a nice healthy tree, the fruits can get the size of a really large egg. And if you let them ripen up, you kind of just eat the flesh off them. It's nice and juicy. Like I said, nice tropically spicy mango. Or what I have here today, my little snack, is you can eat them raw and unripe. Or you can cook them raw, cook them unripe. And you want to get them green to eat like this before they're big enough for the mature pit, the pit to start forming. You get them when the fruit is still nice and tender. They're hard, but the seed hasn't formed, so you can eat the whole thing. And I believe this is mostly how they're eaten. Even when they get a little larger, people eat them green with salt and chili and whatnot. And that's actually what I have here, some seasoned salt, which is my favorite way to eat them. And yeah, they're very productive. You can grow them anywhere, like again in pots. You can put them in the ground, but they seem to be really sensitive to either really sandy soils or really rich soil. If the soil's too rich and too moist, I don't know, they seem to get root rot. And if it's too sandy, they don't seem to be able to take up nutrients. I don't know. And I've tried in all different soils in the ground and lots of compost, little compost. And the most luck I've ever had is in pots. My good peat moss, pine bark compost mixture, really well draining. Got a little vermiculite mix in there. It's really well draining, really aerated, and they do amazing in that. And they're dwarf trees, so they only get 4 or 5 feet tall, maybe 6 feet. Rarely, they're not going to get 6 feet because they flower. They'll send up a branch, and it'll end in a terminal flower cluster, and then that branch, that cluster, will sprout new ones. So they do not get that tall at all. They get more wide than they do tall. And you just trim off the dead flower clusters or the fruit bunches, and they'll sprout new ones, and they just keep going from there. They are good with the cold, pretty much right down to freezing. If they're not happy, they'll drop their leaves, so you just figure out what it is, and then they start growing again. And I've got about 20 of these. And the only way I've ever been able to propagate them is through cuttings. That's it. They grow from semi-hardwood cuttings. They root about 80%. They do not like rooting hormone. Any bit of rooting hormone, and for whatever reason, it just causes them to die and rot. You got to do it without rooting hormone or air layer them, and they do. That gives you about 80% success rate. Yeah. So without further ado, I'm gonna rub this in this little seasoned salt here for you, like that, and that. They're not sweet at this stage, obviously, but you can see completely edible. The whole thing's soft, very crunchy. Normally when they get large, about the size of a very large egg, they form like a mango seed inside, really fuzzy kind of seed. But at this stage, that seed's non-existent, and you can eat the whole thing. And they are like pickles. That's like dead on for a pickle, even without the salt. Yep, it is like that is like a hamburger dill chip pickle, super crunchy, really delicious. Yeah. So there you go, guys. You can also eat the leaves on these. They got like a nice kind of sweet, kind of a slight resinous flavor. If they're raw, you can eat them raw. But if you cook it, that resinous flavor disappears, and it's replaced with a slight sourness. It's really good. I always like to blanch my greens because I don't like strong green flavors. So you blanch them super quick, literally boil water, throw them in, scoop them out, and you put them right into a frying pan with some salt and butter and a little pepper, and then you put it over rice, and it's delicious, the leaves like that. And the fruits, you can either dice up the fruits and add that to your rice too, or because they're so sour, and they're not really super sour, they just got like a pickleness to them, not bad sour. They're awesome pickled. I like to do a sweet pickle on them with some garlic and onions on it, and just delicious. And then you dice them up and you add it to whatever you want on your rice. Little slices of pickled June plum. Again, really versatile tree, guys. Super easy to grow. Still fairly rare here in the U.S. You can find other species fairly easy because they grow from seed. The purpurea and the spinata. But those are completely different. The fruits taste different. The color's different. The Dulcis, Spondias Dulcis, is a dwarf tree. Only grows from cuttings. Really delicious kind of pickle flavored, crunchy little fruits. The leaves are edible, and the young shoots are. And you can grow them in a pot anywhere, guys. You can't beat that, right? So, gotta grow that food and stuff like this. You are only going to get to try if you grow it yourself. So, see you later, guys. Love you. Thank you for watching. Enjoy that good food. These are really good. It's a fruit, but not a sweet fruit. And that's not bad. Sometimes you don't always want sweet, That's I'm not saying there's anything bad with growing tropical fruits, but sometimes, you just want something a little on the savory side, and it's real nice when you can have a fruit that can hit that spot, you know what I mean? Just go out in your yard, put a little salt in your hand, and go and eat some of these delicious little, almost dead on for pickles, right? Probably loaded with antioxidants and vitamin C, and they taste pretty good too. So put them in your rice, put them in your stir fries, put them in your salads, pickle them, whatever you want to do with them. Very versatile, very easy to grow, and best of all, super delicious. Right, guys? Thank you very much. Hopefully you're getting nice and jealous, right? You know, it's like a fat bastard off of Austin Powers. It's like, get in my belly. I'm saying it to the little June plums here, you know. You guys want these in your belly, don't you? Alright, grow food, guys. Enjoy growing that food. And I'll tell you what, once you get doing it, you'll love it. See you later. Little Spondias Dulcis, Dwarf June plum, unripe, completely edible fruits here. Very delicious on my table that I also use for potting stuff. So it's got a little bit of extra flavor on it. AKA, you know, probably cow and chicken crap. Anyway, see you later.